Hello and welcome back again. I'm Sam, I'm a WordPress developer, and I'm going to go through the second part of the theming system sort of video that I launched a couple of weeks ago. You might notice a few things different. For starters, my camera is in a different position, but secondly, I'm upgrading from a Mac to a Mac. So no real changes. Everything I'm working on can be done on Windows, Linux, or Mac OS. In fact, some of the videos have been on Windows or Linux or Mac. So feel free to ask any questions in the comments below. We're using a prototype theme that I built today called Apollo. It's a work in progress, but it still has all the parts that we need to go through and sort of walk through with you. So we're going to go through a couple steps, all in the customizer here. So first and foremost, we're going to look at pages. So I mentioned this loosely in the last video, and I kind of sort of stressed this. I've installed WooCommerce to kind of give you an idea of what you can do with plugins, adding pages, or just editing pages and creating pages. So the old way to be able to do sort of page content was adding it within the left-hand side admin menu. Now you can add pages freely from inside the customizer, and you don't have to leave the customizer. You just have to review and save your changes. So if we click up here, and which is click on the plus button, and then we want to name our page to sample page. All right, and after we've added in our testing page, I've just named it sample page, but I'm probably going to name it other sample page because sample page comes out of the box of WordPress. You can create a draft, and that's kind of key. Remember from a previous video that I mentioned, all pages you create in the full site editor on the customizer screen will be as drafts. I've added a couple post types to my page default template in Apollo, but you might see some of these in other sort of themes. So for now, I can enable comments. But for now, with this template, I want to go through a couple key points. So templates specifically are built around to structure how your content is viewed on your pages. So you'll see that for mine, within my page template, I have a comment block, I have comments to be enabled, I have the header and a footer all built within my top navigation units. I also have a sticky nav as well, and then the logo. So I have a few little things added to my page core template for Apollo. And you can go and edit these willy-nilly. So if I press the WordPress button and then go back from pages to templates, same as before, you'll notice I've got a few templates included. So you've got the default ones include out of the box, and then some from WooCommerce as well. So products obviously being from WooCommerce, search results, single item post, and then single post there from WordPress. And then there's a few others that are either custom from WooCommerce like cart and checkout, or some that I've added, which are page with sidebar, post with sidebar, and these are custom ones. So if I open this up and have a look, you can see well, there you go, the template's broken. A great example of seeing what happens when there's components unavailable. You will get this error, which is a template or part has been unavailable. So my sidebar component is broken. So a good example to show you what happens when components break. But within this setup, you can see within this template that I have a title component. If I expand this, in my header, I have the header that is across the website, which is, we've expanded in a previous video, which is just a row, a block, and then another row block with a logo in it, and the site name, and then the navigation. And then after it, it's just a group block with columns group, which is a title, a post block, so the post content, and then some comments. So it's a page, it's just meant to be a blog post sort of showcase page. And that's kind of what that sort of packs with. That's one of our templates that I've built, and you can get really creative with templates. You can actually create them as well in the editor rather than code them. So these are coded, my versions, but you can create a template as you like if you just click the add template button up here, and then you can pick and choose what you like. So you can choose front page, pages, date archives from the default, or you can do a custom template. Now, if you're building a theme via a no-code route, which some people do, you can click custom template, and then you can name it, let's say post with sidebar 2. From here you can code out this entire pattern as you wish. So I've also got a pattern created as well, which is what you were seeing, which is embedded in that template. But within patterns, we'll get into patterns in a tick. I'm going to skip this part down here, and you really have the full editor at your disposal. So we're going to quickly create a template really quick. We're going to put in the header, a heading, and we're going to add in a page break. We're going to add in a image from the media library. I'll use this one that I used in the previous video. Select, and then after this, I'm going to insert after, add after, and then we're going to create a footer using the footer template, and that will be our quick and dirty template. So quick and dirty, and then post with sidebar. It's not got a sidebar, but sue me. And then we're going to click save, and then save. And you'll notice that a couple of things pop up here when you are saving this. So for starters, it will use all the default stylings because I've not specified styling. It will use everything that is built straight out the gate from the theme and what I covered in the previous episode. So you can add save changes to theme. So this will actually allow me to publish this entire content to the theme itself, which is what you want to do when you're building a theme. And when we get into theme development, we will cover this more in detail. This is just a quick overview. You can edit the metadata of the theme. You can edit the theme.json directly from here, which is important, from the Create Block Theme plugin. But in the settings for the template itself, you've only really got areas you can edit with any sort of already inherited patterns and components you've put in. So we do have a footer template here, which you can click and it will just highlight the footer, which is no different to clicking on the document overview and then clicking on the footer component. So there's nothing really there in the way of sort of differences that you'd see. This is your editor. This is your code editor. If you want to as well, you can click on options and then you can click on code editor. And you can see all the block sort of layout that you're just building with this. And you can see the class identification, the styling, specs, everything. It's very sort of remnant to what Tailwind uses. But outside of that, it's fairly powerful, but also fairly simple if you want to go as complex and as high level as you want. Like I've shown before, it supports custom CSS as well. If you want to use custom CSS to be able to build out your components, depending on how fancy you want to get, it's entirely going to be up to you. But also from there, if you wanted to put in a sidebar, you would just put in a column, split your columns out and style your columns appropriately. And you can do that really with the default components, and you can use your own patterns and the like to be able to expand on this. Now your theme can also build out as well. If you ship a plugin with your theme for advanced components, or you want to monetize your theme and you want to put in extra components and extra sort of paid features, you can do that as well. And they will also all be allowed to be edited and controlled all within the theme itself, and you can have the theme actually call out to this plugin and say, hey, I want to import these templates, patterns, and the whole library that I've just built and paid for, and you can do that. It's fairly powerful for what people can do to ship with the block themes these days. Now, templates and template patterns. So lastly, I want to go over this a little bit to sort of end off. So patterns are one of the better sort of add-ons that have come to WordPress with the advent of Gutenberg in the last couple of years. And you can see there is a number of them in this theme. Some are from WooCommerce. The 6 are from the theme that I've built. And they're fairly complex in terms of their layout. So you can kind of have a look in terms of their use. So you can call these, and I'll go back to our sample page that we built in the tick and show you, but you can call these anytime in terms of across the site, and they are locked here. So you can't actually edit them directly. You do need to change their code. So when we get into theme development, we will do coding for that. But all across this as a post type as well, which is the query block that comes with WordPress. Then there's a number of WooCommerce ones, which you saw when I saw all patterns. So there's banners, there's cover blocks, there's a ton that comes with most sort of themes, add-ons, and packages. You'd be surprised what template parts come across with sort of add-ons and plugins these days that are block friendly. But let's show you what these look like. So let's go to pages and let's go to our other sample page that we built before, which is up here. We'll click on that. And now we're back in our sample page. So we're going to edit this, just click on it so it expands. And then we're going to go to our document overview, and I'm going to add a new block. And then if I click up here, you'll see blocks, patterns, media, obvious, images, or you can call Openverse. Blocks, we've done this before. Now this is the patterns. This is where we would embed all of the patterns that we have access to. Theme patterns, again, the ones that would be shipped with Apollo. So if you purchase a theme, a block theme, there would be patterns that would have been attached to this theme. I have 6.
as I showed you before. Footer, so footer patterns, there's some pre-built patterns that you can use that are sort of customized out of the box from Gutenberg. You can see them all. You can go about, you can get really deep. There are quite a few, and a lot you'll find good themes like Neve, Cadence, all offer the functionality to ship a lot of patterns with this because they have a hybrid approach. They're not technically full site editor, although Neve is now, but you can find that they will still ship a block pattern that you can use and actually utilize it across the site, and sort of gets you walked in through how to use block patterns and pattern management rather than just have to wait to use the full site editor. So let's use some of the Apollo ones. So I'm going to add a extra item down the bottom, and I'm going to go, just clicked out of it. So I'm going to go back to patterns, theme patterns, and then I'm going to add a pattern inside my page block here. Let's add more comments. Should I pick something different? I'm going to pick the image pattern here. So that what this is meant to do is it is a side-by-side, so a triple column pattern. As a focus image, a secondary image, and some side-by-side content. You can change this as well. It's just a test sort of pattern, but built with the WordPress default patterns, but kind of combined and then sort of styled a little bit differently. But you can get really crazy with patterns. Again, same as templates. The world is your oyster in terms of how you would scaffold this out, and is really individualized. A good theme I would recommend checking out that does this really well. It's not Apollo because Apollo is not shipped yet. I would check out a theme by Brian Gardner, who is a web developer at WP Engine and a colleague. But I would check out his theme, Powder, which is this one here, which ships with a lot of patterns built in. You can really get crazy with Powder, but it's a good example of block patterns, pattern management, block styling, whole kit caboodle, and a good scaffold if you want to use it to be able to see what you can do with your own block themes. So thank you again for checking in. Bit of a short video to wrap up a two-part series. Later, what we're going to do is we're going to get into building out a block theme ourselves, and I'm going to walk you through how to set it up, how to get started, and sort of start building out components. I think that's going to be the next sort of bulk set of YouTube videos. So thanks for liking the content, and I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Thanks for liking the content, appreciate it. My shorts have done well as some of the other videos. So take care, and I will catch you next time. Have a good one.